Can somebody confirm to me that you're getting it live on YouTube? Thank you. Can somebody confirm? Okay, guys, let's go. We're recording. Good afternoon once again for those who just joined us on YouTube. Let's start. By the way, before we go, remember we're doing the daily webinars now. It's very short. It's on a single pair. It gives you a little more in-depth on that pair because we do it from the monthly downwards. So you may want to take a look at them. There's a lot of them on YouTube already. At least for 1 week, you've been doing them. And the link for those will always be on my Facebook page. I think all of you know how to find my Facebook page. I'll probably show it up at the end again. And please find it there. It's post daily because I don't know what time of the day I'm free to do them. When I'm free, I post the link. The link is normally up for an hour or two before the webinar starts. So you'll have enough time to, if you follow me in the Facebook page, you will get the link and you can join me. It's also on Twitter, so you can follow me on Twitter too, right? And that means I don't post much things in those social sites, so don't worry like I'm going to post. The only thing you get there is the daily link, nothing else. I don't really get involved in those crazy stuff. I'm not into it very much, right? So let's go. Dollar index. Dollar index still in a consolidation, right? We're still in that big consolidation here. This is the down move. We've made a move up. And we were looking for a consolidation that should or might have gone up again. It's a nice 1, 2, 3 pattern. That has not changed, by the way, not because we have broken the trend line. Has that pattern changed? It is still 1, 2, 3, although we broke the trend line, right? So what we're going to look for now, is it going to continue to go down, which means are they going to consolidate here and continue to go down? Or is it actually going to change direction and go back up? Either possible. They could also be going sideways for a longer period of time here, which means you could get much of a bigger sideways here, pull back here, and then go up. So as soon as they go into that consolidation zone, trading becomes dangerous because there are many options that are available of how this consolidation could develop, and we've only got one wave down. That has not confirmed anything. But for excuse me, for short-term trades, you can look for two options. You can look for consolidations for a buy, which means if you get a buy setup, you take a short-term trade and you get out. You can look for consolidations for a sell. If you get a sell, you take a short-term trade and you come out. Right now, we don't have either. This is not enough consolidation. So for me to go for a sell, this would have to come back here, and then I'd look for the downside. For me to go for the buy, this one would have to come here, come back there, and then go for the buy. I don't have either. There's not enough information. Now, can this go one way or the other? Yes, it can. But I would not be trading that because not much information there to trade. And the trades are short-term. Just like the euro. The euro has more information to trade short-term up to this level. We will not be breaking this area. I don't expect them to. This is not enough correction. So I think we might be up. We might be coming back down. So if we get a three-wave pattern in here, we'll look for upside. What would it give us? I don't know. Is this thing going to crawl its way down to the bottom like this? Could be, but not very interesting trading. All right, this is not interesting to trade. Wait for this to do the upside, and this would be a better trade. In terms of getting a short-term trader, yeah, you can take that trade. You'll probably get a short trade. Monday morning, we can even see them gap start from the top coming down. So when they go into that sideways consolidation, you don't trade because you don't have confirmation of what they're going to do. And breaking out of this trend line does not really mean it's starting an uptrend, right? This could be much of a bigger sideways move before they go. So what you're going to wait to see, let them confirm something for you. In terms of if I'm going to look for a trade on this pair now, I would look for a sell setup. I'd ignore the buy. I let it start coming down, and then I look for the sell. Why? Because right now we need one more impulse to the downside. At least one more impulse to the downside will confirm that we're making a three-wave structure. Now that one more impulse keeps going down, and it's possible they can come all the way to this low, maybe even breaking the low before they go back up. So that is why you would want the sell now, the short-term sell. It's not necessarily going to go that far because you don't know what pattern they're going to make, but you can go for a short-term sell. Scalpers, as somebody was asking a question, could take the buy, I'll wait for them to come back, and then I'll go with this. If they just go and break the top, not interested, because as soon as they break that top, they'll start coming down. This would not be a next impulse going up far. It's not structurally, it's not sustainable. I don't see the structure that says after we have made a good consolidation in here, up and down like this, well, then yes, I can see this impulse happening. So right now, not possible. Pong. Remember we said they're going to come back and tag that top. It looks like they're going to get there. We broke this top at least that top is broken. So if this goes, you take this trade. It's short term because they're going to go back up. Right? That one. If they come and break this top, take this trade. It's longer term. That's much more sustainable. So for me personally, I want them to go to break the top. We saw this and I'm not buying. Remember, I told you from the last time, I didn't bought it when it was here. I'm not buying in this one. I'm not buying in this one. And there's probably another short-term buy that you'll probably get here. Right? You can make a decision if you want that, if there's a good setup. Right now, there's not a good setup for it, but I can see it, probably happening just like they did here. We saw this. We saw this. Right? And there's a possibility you might get something like this here. And if you get that, you can go for this short-term trade here. Right? It's a short-term upside. You can take it because they don't have to stop here. They can spike a little higher and then come back. So the buy in the Pong is a good one. The sell is a good one. Whichever they give you, take it. Both options are possible. Both options if they go now. If they go down now, short-term. If they go up now, short-term. But once they complete any of those short-term moves, you will have longer-term in the opposite direction. Right? This is still a daily consolidation. That has not changed. What I would like to see them do is come and break this top, and then I want that trade. So for me, I want them to get there before I take this trade. But you can trade it up, right? If you're a short-term trader, there's a nice trade to the upside. Take it, take profit. Let's go. Aussie coming down. I was looking for a deeper correction basically from this point. I thought they would make a deeper correction. They actually did break the structure. Not much of a trade setup for you to be in the trade. They dropped. I wouldn't have sold that because I didn't see that coming. And if it came, it was short term, right? Same thing. They're back up here. So could this be the start of the bigger correction? Not the change of direction, but bigger correction. Well, if they give you a flag here, you can repeat the same thing like this. This one wasn't the buy setup because it didn't trigger. Depends on your strategy. Based on our strategy, that didn't trigger. But if you get a trade here, take that trade up. The upside has a higher potential than the downside right now. So let me show you why again. I did this in one of the short-term videos, and I think you know why. The daily videos that you will see. So I'll take everything out and I'll just show you. We are here now. See? So like I said, if they drop, they come right back here. If they drop, they'll come right back here. If they drop again, they'll come right back. What you want to see is a correction up, and then you can start to trade it down. Now, I am almost convinced, based on the patterns we have right now, that there is a high probability we're not going to get that up move. We're likely going to get a correction somewhere here, and then we're going to get more downside, right? Because as far as we can see, this structure is not showing us that. This is showing us sharpness. It's not showing us the correction we're looking for to the upside. Still possible it could happen, but we'll keep our eyes open. Right now, it's not showing that. So what I'm looking for right now is a possible move up. Maybe a correction, maybe another move up. And if I see this, then definitely I'll be looking for the sell. If this takes off to the upside, I'll be tracking it to see how far it goes. I don't think it's the next impulse up as yet. But I'm looking for a buy. I'm no longer looking for sells. I closed all my sells that I was in long term for there. So if any sells is here now, it's going to be very short term, which means I'll have to get a very, very nice flag here. And then I'll go with a very short-term trade because they'll keep doing this until they make the deeper correction. That deeper correction will come. It always does. So just be careful if you're getting into short-term sells, take profit out of them. I think this week we should see some deeper consolidation before they go. New Zealand, this is the one you want to stay with because this one has completed the correction. It's completed that bigger corrective structure we were in. It is going. By the way, this one you may also want to be a little careful. I still think it could go a lot more, but you may want to be a little careful in the change of structure that we are noticing. This could turn out to be a much bigger consolidation in the middle. So if that happens, you'll get one more leg to the upside. If that is not the consolidation we're looking at, then this is going down totally. Every pullback you get, every pullback you get, every pullback you get is a sell setup. You had two already. Got one pullback there, one pullback there, two sell setups. You should take the trades and wait to see how far they go. After this one, it could go. We're getting some divergence, but that's not confirmed as yet, which means you're getting another consolidation here. Sell it. Sell it, move your stops, and wait. If they do change direction to the upside, which we're not seeing yet, it's not confirmed anything as yet. If they do change the direction to the upside, you'll get a break-even trade. You move your stops and you wait, right? But if they keep going like they're doing here now and this is getting more aggressive, you're going to be in a good trade to the downside. Most of you should be in this trade already and still be in it, right? Not supposed to take that trade out. Yen is going down, but this is short term. There was a nice sell setup here, actually. I think, let me take that out. That was a sell setup. There was a sell setup here. This one did go back here, so your sell setup would have come in here, actually. So this one was a sell setup. You're getting another flag here, actually. These are short-term trades. If you get another flag here and a short-term trade, sell again. Start taking profit or moving your stops because it's not going to go up for a long time. It's not going to go down for a long time. We don't have a structural change as yet. We still have this as the up move. So no structural changes yet. If this at some point give us a deeper pullback like this, well then yes, we'll look for more downside. This could start to go back up at any time. So you got to be careful with this, right? Take the sells, take them short term, move your stops. If you're in the sell, I would say move your stop and protect what you have at least. Because you don't want to give everything up because of that. CAD, still in a big sideways move. CAD has some real interesting patterns in here. Something we were discussing in our trading room that we saw very, very interesting. As a matter of fact, we saw this pattern coming down here. We saw this breaking, but we did not sell. We were actually looking for the buy setup because we knew that once they broke the structure, they were going to go back up. That's one of the patterns we are looking at that is really unique, the way it behaves, right? So this one goes up, short term, come back. If you get a sell setup here, you can take that trade. I think they can consolidate more. You're looking for one more impulse down, right? If I'm not sure whether this is the one that will go because they can make much more, they can actually come back here and then do this and go back up and then come, right? But we'll watch it. If you get a sell setup, if you get a flag, if you get this coming down here and making a correction like this to go, sell it. This one could also go a little deep before they come back. So if you get the sell setups in here, you should take it. You'll get. Remember when this was going, I said you wanted to pull back? Well, they pull back. Right? If you're following me, I said you want to be careful with this. It has to pull back before it goes. We're in a big sideways daily correction, right? We're in this bigger one. We made a move up. We make one, we make two, we come back here, three. We could make another three if we want, or we could go up like this, right? So right now, we're just in a big sideways consolidation. You want the next impulse to the downside. So everybody, please keep your questions. Right? You'll probably get them answered at the bottom. Those blue lines, don't worry with those blue lines. They mean anything. It depends on what I'm explaining in my group. They're tops, they're bottoms, they're entry points. There are a lot of things. So don't bother your head too much with that. They mean a lot. So it's a waste of time trying to guess. So like I said, you got this, you got it. And yet last week, if you had a sideways for a sell, you can take it. You do have one. I think we are going to make another three-wave structure. This was a short one here. And it's going, if you get another pullback here, sell it. We're going to break this low and probably make a three-wave structure to the downside. They've just extended this thing to much bigger pattern. So you get any pullback, sell, pullback, sell. Once you hit the low, remember this one is an upside. Once you hit the low, what you're going to look for is upside. All right, this is what we have. On the daily, we're still in that big sideways move. It's a huge sideways move. Let me put it so you can see them. Come on. And as you can see, in none of those moves in any direction did they go in a straight line. They pull back, they pull back, they pull back. So we're going up now. Yeah, we can pull back. and then we will continue to go. We can pull back, and then we'll continue to grow, right? So right now what you're doing is you're pulling back. And this pullback is pretty similar to any of these pullback that you would see, right? See that? See the pullbacks are much more messy, and the move downs are sharper. The moves here will be up, the sharpest moves. The up will go sharp, the pullback would be messy, and that's what you're getting. So you can take short-term sell, pull back, short-term sell, and then you start to look for that move up. XAG, it just keep going sideways. You broke the top. They broke out of that triangle. Remember, we said we can't confirm it's a triangular pattern. We don't know. You can sell this way or you can buy that way, because it's still not confirmed that that's a triangular pattern. I'll put it back so you can see. I still wouldn't confirm that's a triangular pattern. As a matter of fact, I think if they stop here and come back down here, this would be a good one, right? You can expect them to come break this low, go back up there, and then come. All we will probably look for is this is an ABC structure, an A, B, and a C wave. So should this go break the top, that might not change the structure very much. Right? So if you're in this X, if you're in the buy, put that to break even, because very likely this thing reverses, come tag this low, go back up there. I expect them to break that top and then come back down, right? So it's in a big sideways move too, if you look at it on the daily, right? We're in a big sideways consolidation. This is the impulse to the upside. And as you hear me say, they always do something like this. And when they do something like this, they go up. Well, we're in that something like that. So you notice they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. There's a lot of mess in it. You just have to understand what each piece is doing. So the upside here is not a very good buy right now. They can reverse it. Gold also made another upside. So we're still looking at this. Now you've got a confirmed 1, 2, 3 wave, because they broke the top, making this the B wave. Still expect that to come back, retest this low, at least come very close to the low. If it's a contracting flat, they will not get to the low, but they'll get very close. And then expect them to retest the top and then come back all the way to the bottom, right? So we might be in a very big sideways move there, depending on whether they're making a flat. If that changes into any other structure that we are looking at right now, the only thing I can see is a flat. From the information that we have right now, I can see a very strong A, a very messy B, coming down back for a C, going back up for a bigger C wave within this correction, and then coming down. So what is it going to do? We'll track it on a daily. So if you're in the buy, what you got to do is move your stops, because it's not sustainable. I don't think they're going to go very far. You don't close the trade. You move your stop to where you think I'll get out if they don't keep going up. And you don't have to get out of the trade. But if I'm wrong and they decide to make another pattern that we're looking at, we'll see. Right now, I think this is what it's going to do. Euro Oz keeps going up, make another high, everybody freaks out, and you don't have to freak out, because it will come back down, right? Is it going to come back down right now? I don't know. They can probably do this again, and they can do that again. They can do that. Wait until they come back here before you buy. I still think the downside is possible, right? But we'll wait and see if they change that structure. If they change that structure, the downside is going to be much more amazing than you think, right? So two options right now to look at this. This is an A, B, C in the making, and this is going to come back to break this low. That's one option. The second option, let me use a different color. This is an A. We're still making a B. We're still making a C. We'll probably come only to this level and go back up from there. You will have something like this. It's called a running flat. That is two possibilities of how this structure could develop right now. Can this thing continue to go up some more? Well, you can buy it if they pull back here like this is a correction to go. If they pull back as a correction to go, and you take profit every time. Because at some point, that thing is going to come back. Because if this is an ABC, they're coming back. If this is a running flat, they're going to come back here before they go. The bigger picture will have to give me a bigger tree wave inside. Let me just show some of you that before you start freaking out. This is what you look for. 1, 2, 3. See that? You got another small tree in here, and you got another small tree wave in there. So don't freak out because they're moving. If you're in the buy, you're in the sell, you're in the sell way too early, and you should have got out of that seller way back. Actually, you should be in the buy, because what we said is you could buy this breakout, because we thought this was going to go up somewhat to this level and then turn. the turning for the sell was not there on strategies we should. But if you sell for any reason at these levels, you have to get out of the break of the top. Or if you're still in the trade, then you're long term and you have to keep the trade until it pulls back to that area to get out. It will. Just remember this. Remember, this one is like another Pong Yen. Remember, the Pong Yen keeps spiking down, and then it took off. Everybody was surprised. Oh my God, it's gone. I am not in. This is going to come back down. It's not sustainable the way it's going. The pattern that it's making going up, we understand that this pattern is not the impulsive pattern we're looking for. So they have to make a correction before they go. Whether the correction is going to be something like this, and then they continue to go, or whether they're going to drop totally and break the low, we don't know. We'll see one out of those two, right? So remember that. Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand is the only one that I think could go, right? Remember we said this one could go. If you wanted to buy, this was the one you should have bought instead of that, right? Because this one, we knew this one was going to break the top. So there were two. We thought the Euro Oz was going to come up as a small correction, and the Euro New Zealand breaking the top. Well, the Euro New Zealand really broke the top. So I think they're going to make some more, maybe just come down now or make some more there, but they're eventually going to pull back. So what would this do in the long term? There's a long-term correction coming here very soon. See that? It probably could start now, or they could make one more impulse and then start it. But the long-term correction after this move is going to happen like this. So we're waiting for that long-term correction to start. That means you can see Euro Oz go down, and Euro Oz to the downside might be much faster than the New Zealand to the downside. Because the Euro Oz to the downside could be a much bigger trade. So you will have to watch this. Wait for a sell setup. I don't think we have a sell setup in any one of them. We're just starting that downside. Let them come down, make a flag. If they're going to go down, let them come down, make a flag, and then you start looking for sell setups. Right? You can do the same on the Euros. Let it come down, make a flag, and then you start, make a corrective structure. Then you start looking for the sell setups. Until then, you don't have the sell setups as yet. Right? Euro Yen coming down aggressively. I didn't thought they were going to go down so aggressive. Thought they were going to retest the top. So it looks like it's not confirming the downside as yet. Only when they break this low, then we'll confirm the downside. But right now, you can get more downside, which means if they make a flag here, like they're doing in these little pieces up, sell it. Once it break through here, put it to break even and see if they break the low. If they break the low, keep the trade. If they just tag the low, start to pull back, take your profit. But if they break, I'm not expecting them to break that low and go back up. Breaking that low would confirm total downside because it's no longer going to be this, right? So, but from here, they can go back up. So be careful unless you get the flag sell, because you remember this one, pull back very, very deep, right? And still take off. So this could be your deep pullback here, and we could still take off. So you're going to watch this. That is why I said watch the yen. The yen could turn at any point, right? Euro is in a sideways move, but the yen could turn to the upside. So if you're in the yen trade, you definitely want to move your stops on the yen, right? Because if this is going to go up, it is only going to go up because of the yen, not the euro. The euro is pretty much in a big sideways move. Let's go. Euro Swiss. Already coming down, they broke the top. We anticipate the break of that top. We expect that when they break that top, they're going to go down, and we're looking for a big move down. Two ways we're going to look for this. Either we're going to get a correction like this, just like the euro was. They're going to make 1, 2, 3 and go back up, making this a very, very big corrective structure. Or we're totally going for a very big downside. So let's see in the daily which one is possible. On the daily right now, either is possible. This is what you have. Let's go. This is what you have right now. You've got a deep correction here, a 1, 2, 3. You can either look at that as the first one up, this is a pullback and that go, or this is some kind of a more, different pattern, because it's not confirmed whether we broke that low. On some charts it did, and some charts it didn't. So I wouldn't. But even if you look at all of this as the correction, this could either be a small correction and we go back up, right? A small correction like this and they go back up, or this could be a total big correction back to this level. So if this goes through, then very likely you can see the Euro Oz and the Euro New Zealand goes through for that bigger correction too. So we'll wait to see. But if you want to sell one, this is a good one to sell. All right, this one makes a lot of sense, and it's coming down. Wait for a flag. Wait for them to stop. Wait for them to make a correction. Let this come at some point, make a correction, and look for the sell. They always make a correction, and they give you that sell, right? Well, it's nice that it's stop or moving, so you'll probably get a nice correction in here this week, and then you can look for that trade down. EuroCAD, be careful with this because I still think they could tag that top, this top before they come down. They could tag this top here and then come down. So if you're going to get a sell set up in the EuroCAD, you'd want this to come here a little, make a sideways, and then go, right? Not that much, but anywhere in here you get a sideways move, then you're looking to sell to break this low. Come here, and then we'll see when they get here if they go back up. There's a good chance they're going to go back up. We're in a big sideways move. When these sideways move, when these patterns are very, very complicated. Europong, well, now you can all see the vision, right? It's easy. It's easy to see, very, very easy to see now, right? Remember when it was going down here and then it started to go back, everybody freaked out, and then it came down and started to go back and everybody's freaking out. And I said, guys, all they're doing is making a consolidation in there for downside. See? We'll be talking about this one. So I'll take 2 extra minutes on this one if you don't mind, because this would help you guys understand how these patterns work, not why they work, how they work. Why they work is a long story. We'll come to that. So if you're looking at this chart and you're saying, you see they make a move up, they make a move down, a move up, a move down, a move up, a move down, and then they drop. Right? And everybody, what you're looking for is a sideways move and a continuation. That's classical. That's a regular kind of flat pattern we're looking for. You don't always get it that way. What you have here is 1, 2, and we knew this was going to go up. We just didn't think it was going to break the top. But breaking the top does not mean it's not doing what we expect it to do. It's just that we don't forecast expanding patterns. It's an expanding flat or running flat. We don't forecast them. Right? It doesn't mean they don't happen. We know they exist. We know they happen. They're well written. If you're any kind of a wave trader and you've learned anything, you know that. But we don't forecast them. We always make a forecast as a simple pattern, and then we watch how it develops and change that forecast as it develops. Because if you're going to forecast all your trades as possible expanding flat, you're not going to be trading. Right? They're rare. They're not. The most common one is the regular flat. So we go with the most common one because you don't know what it's going to do. You just wait for that development. When it was here, we knew it was going to go up. We knew they were going to break this top. Well, now they broke that top. So what you can expect is you get a move down, you get a consolidation here. You want one more impulse down. This impulse here now doesn't have to break this low because we broke the top. If it's a running flat, they'll just stop here and go up. If it's an expanding flat, they'll come lower and then go up. We will have something like this. And then we will get another move to the upside, a big move to the upside. That might follow. Retesting the top. How far they go up, they'll probably retest that top. So it depends on how you look at the entire structure on the weekly, the monthly, and so then you will decide whether this has far more up or just testing the top and start going back down. Right? We're not going to go into that. We did it in our room, but that's where if you're trying to analyze, learn to be a wave trader analyzing. What you need to know is they may tag this top and then come down. That's the trade I'm looking for. That is the trade we're all looking for. So let's go back to the 4-hour. And I expect them to still tag that top. They don't have to because they broke the low. Remember we said when they break the low here, and we knew they were going to reverse because we knew that 1 and 2 is not enough of a consolidation. You need that. This one was not enough of a consolidation. We needed that one more up. So I can see them still coming to tag the top before they go, which means we don't have a sell set up as yet. I need this to actually, well, for those of you who are now going to get the sell, you would need this to come down and make a flag like, so you can confirm that you're getting a flag. And if you take that trade, put it to break even until they break this low. When they break that low, now you can say, I'm keeping that trade for longer term. Right? If they don't, they can come back here and then, you want to get out of the trade to break even. You want to look for your sell from the top going. And we will be following this every week. And if there's daily update that I see interesting, I'll probably show you during the day. But you will learn something how trades behave and how you should not be afraid of the chart. And although they're spiking like crazy up and down, making sharp moves down, sharp moves up, you should not worry about that. Ignore all of that. They're all noise in the market. If you understand how the structure behave and you understand what possible structure this is making, you can make a very, very high probability forecast. And most of the times, they pretty much work. Why? Because it's human beings trading them. We are actually, what you're looking at is actually data from how people who trade this market trade it. That's it. Now, what you got to do is be able to read that data correct. Now, it's not about them making a pattern. It's a pattern forming with what they're doing. I think people get it wrong. Say, oh, I'm looking for it to make an ABC. No, it's not about it making an ABC. It's about what they're doing will create a certain pattern, not necessarily an ABC. It's creating a certain pattern, and you have to be able to read into that pattern, because that pattern tend to changes into 30 or plus. It could go to much more different patterns. Depends on how double and triple you're getting into it. Like I said, it could spend 3 years consolidating. So what you do is you look at what pattern they're making on lower time frames, build that up into bigger patterns, and I think we know what you're doing, because we can see it, we can read it, and it's pretty much accurate. Now, if sometimes, like I said, okay, I'm looking for this to fall now, when it doesn't fall immediately, it goes one more up, everybody freak out. Oh, that pattern thing, there's no, it's just that I thought that pattern was complete at that point. There was enough information for me to say that pattern is completed, but I'm wrong. The pattern is not completed, right? It doesn't mean that there is no pattern and that pattern doesn't work, or this you can't trade. All it means is that I'm not in that trade on the opposite side. I'm waiting for it to go down and then I'll still be in that trade, or I'm waiting for it to go up and I'll be in it. It's not going where I want it to go. It means I'm wrong about the completion of that specific pattern, or I'm wrong about the specific pattern I'm looking for. And that's okay, because I'm forecasting. I'm trying to use limited information to make to forecast the future. Right? And that's tough to do. It's easy to wait until it's finished and say, oh, this is that, right? Well, you can't trade it afterwards. If you're just waiting for things to finish and then label them, like most Elliott waivers do, you can't trade that. That's useless, right? So any trader who tells you I don't do forecasting, or I'm not using forecasting tools, he's not trading. He's wasting his time. He has no idea what he's doing, right? So we do forecast, and that is the advantage. That is what gives us the edge in the market. The mere fact that we do forecasting. And you have to do forecasting if you want to be a good trader. So watch this. We're going to track it every day. I'm still expecting it to go down, right? Pangos, let's go. If you have a question, please keep it. Please keep it until the end of the webinar. We'll probably do that. I'll still keep YouTube on. So Pangos, same thing. I've been saying the same thing. We're in a big sideways move, and we expect the Pangos to come back and tag this top once we figure out what structure we're looking at. We said, okay, guys, once we figure out that structure, be careful. They'll come back, tag the top. I still think they will go tag the top. So we were expecting this to probably do this. And once they break the top, how far they're going to go up, we don't know. But we will be looking for sell setups that are going to go big move to the downside. Right? So you may want to look for that. You're going to get a big move to the downside. Right now, we're expecting them to just go break the top. The trades to the upside are short term, which means right now, especially, you don't want to buy it. If you get a trade, take it, get out, take profit. Pound New Zealand, we didn't expect this one to go break the top, this top, because this one broke the top already. That doesn't mean that it cannot do it. It's just that we're not expecting it, because there's no reason. The pattern is almost the pattern as it is complete. In that, as it is, it's a very complete pattern. Doesn't mean that this leg in that pattern cannot have some more up. Right? But the minimum qualification to call this pattern is there, breaking that top. So they can break the top 3 more times. That's okay. You shouldn't be in a trade. If you're in a trade, you should get out of that trade for positive or for break even. So let's say you were selling this here. Let's say you sold this here or you sold it here. Your stop should be at break even. Your stop should be at break even. You should be out of that trade, right? Anywhere else, there wasn't a sell setup. This was more of a buy setup, something I wouldn't have bought because we thought they'll stop here and go down, right? I'm still not buying it. So what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for that impulse to the downside, a sideways, and we will start to sell this because it's a longer term trade to the downside. Not every little impulse to the upside you have to get. I'm going with the longer term trade. When this thing starts to go down, I want to go with it, because this is the bigger trade now, the next bigger trade now, at least to this level, and if they break it to that level, that's the bigger term trade. That's a trade we want to go with. You don't want to buy when you're at the top, because you are at the top right now, right? Is that the top? I don't know, but you are at the top right now. So be careful of buys. You're looking for sells. Punk Chief, still in the sell, right? I told you there are two trades that I'm keeping sells on, right? This is one, your Punk is one. Still keeping the sell. Will I change my view on this at some point? Maybe, if I see that the structure is changing. But right now, all we are getting is a sideways move. This could break the top. It didn't break the top. No problem. Like I said, there are two options. They could or could not. Any sideways move you get here now, you sell. You get sideways, you sell. When they come to the low, you're going to watch for two things here. You're going to watch for this one when it comes to this level, when it breaks this low. Because if they break that low and we see structural change, there is a chance you can go for one more up, making this a bigger correction. And we have seen that pattern. We know it very well, right? That's a possibility. Retest the top and then start to come down. So at that point, if you're in any trade, you will move that trade into profit. So because it's not confirming, they can fall. Knowing patterns, let's see if they're going to fall. There's a good chance of one more up, but I think they're going to fall. So what you're going to look for here now is a 60-minute flag. Let's see if we have any 60-minute flag. Well, some of you may already be in the trade. Some of my traders are in the trade. The aggressive one who understand that that is going to break, right? They're in the trade. Now, what you would wait for is a 60-minute. You're getting a small one there, but it's better if you get a little bigger one. That will really help you. And then you wait for this. Once they break this low, put that trade into profit, right? Yeah, I know some of you are in. And some of my traders are already in. If you understand the structure, you don't have to be afraid about selling it, right? And you would look to see what happens when they come here. And then the worst case scenario is what? You get a break-even trade. If it goes, you're okay. You got a good trade. You got the trade you're looking for. If they don't, you get break-even, and then you wait to see whether you get a buy setup, because by then we will look for the buy. It will be a running flat, and we'll look for the buy, right? You see? Even though you're not in my room, you're learning, right? You can see that. Some people understand that concept. So let's see. You Pang Yen, remember what I was saying with Pang Yen? You want to sell it because Pang Yen is showing us more downside potential. Let's look at the 4-hour. I still think it's more downside potential. By the way, this one happened. I think some of you got it. It happened during one of the day one, and I missed it. So what you're going to look for here now is be careful. Move that to break even. That was a short-term trade. If I was in that trade, I'd be out of it once it breaks that low. So those blue lines you're asking me about every time. That blue line was when I sell it here. If it comes there and break that line, I'm out of it, right? So what is going to happen now? Well, I think we wait. The same thing. I don't think this thing is going to go back very high. I'm not expecting them to retest that top. But I can see that this has a potential of going back up here before they come down, making a much bigger sideways move here. It is possible they can do that. Not necessary they're going to do that. I don't see long-term upside on this, but we'll see. If you get a buy setup, you can look for it. For sells, those of you in the sells, you want to move your stops to positive, to break even, to wherever you want. If they continue making flags here, we keep selling it. If this doesn't give you a flag right now, and I think you'll be careful, they might not give a flag. They could give you a move up, give you a flag to the upside. Take that trade because you're coming to retest not only this top, but the other top. Not the bigger one, this one here. To this top here. Not just this top or this one. This top you could come back to retest. So I'm going to move this one to the top. I think you can retest, which is this one. So if you get buy setups, you can go for that. It's a very good trade to the upside. And there's a very likely chance you can start to get buy setups now. Punkad, we can look for the sell setups. I don't think we have them as yet. But we can start to look for it. To see they just keep spiking down, and that is why you wanted to wait for the flag. They spike it back, wait for the flag, and then sell. Wait for that corrective structure. You don't have it here, you don't have it there. Wait for it, wait for that flag. If they spike up some more, wait for a flag and then sell. You're not looking for a buy in that structure. Aussie, New Zealand. So you got a buy here. It's not going, you get another buy here. If if you get a buy, you take it. If you don't get a buy, just leave it. It looks like we might still get the downside. It's not very aggressive to the upside. I don't know what they're doing. It's not going up, it's not going down. Wait. Let's wait. It looks like they might make a much bigger sideways move here before they go down. If they're doing that, that's okay. If they come back here and go back up, we'll wait for this and then we'll sell, right? So if they consolidate in the middle, we'll sell it. But right now, it's useless. It's not doing anything that's aggressive. Aussie CAD, I'll go through this very fast because if you're not in this trade, there's no sense to go in now, right? It's moving down very slow now, so either a deeper correction or a total reversal is there. My traders are in from the top, so those of them in will have to wait, right? There's a good chance, this is going to come down. I think there's a good chance they're going to come down. You make a 1, 2, 3 there. You got a running flat in the middle. Look for a sell setup here if you get a flag. If you get a flag, sell it. One more sell, take profit. Don't keep it anymore. It's at the bottom. Aussie yen totally broke out. So now we'll have to monitor this. This is what you're monitoring in the Aussie. And you're monitoring for this to make a 4-hour correction. Not a 60-minute. 60-minute correction, if you take the trade, it's not going to go very far. You want to see a 4-hour correction to the upside, and then we will look for that trade down. Right? If they give you an impulse on a 60 minutes to the upside, which means if you get an impulse here and a 60-minute correction to the upside, we will buy. Because breaking that trend line now, they're telling us two things: confirm the downside or one more up. Right? So either this whole thing is a big correction and we go back one more up, or we get a flag here, a corrective structure, more of a corrective structure, and then we look for that trade down. If you're in, move your stops. They'll come out the trade because we don't know how far more they can go, but move your stops. Aussie Chief, this one is going nice. We're expecting this to come back pretty deep. Right? We think this could come back all the way to the trend line and maybe even deeper, put it back in the 4-hour. You had a sell setup, it's gone already. All right, that was this sell setup. You can get another sell setup. There's still a lot to go. They're consolidating here. If it gives you a 1-hour sell setup, take the trade. Right? It might get a number more consolidations in here before they come here, but they're coming to that level. So you can look for that trade. New Zealand yen. Oh, stay out of this for now. There might be a shorter term trade, just about one more drop to this level, and we could actually see this go back up. Be careful. This could go back up. There are two New Zealand trades I'm looking for patterns that are looking upside. That is the New Zealand yen, and the New Zealand dollar is showing me signs of possible one more upside when they finish. Right? This could be one of those big structures we know. Possible go back up. Watch it. I'll probably do New Zealand on the daily webinar this week to see whether that's changing possible, and watch the New Zealand yen as well. This is a perfect flat setup, and that means you can potentially get one more up. So be careful. New Zealand CAD, kind of in a similar situation. Not exactly there, but very similar situation if you look at this whole piece here. You got a 1, 2, 3 down, a 1, 2, 3 up, and a 1, 2, 3 down. So this might not go very much more before they get another wave up. See? So kind of like be careful. Another yen one. Short-term sales possible, which means if you get a flag or something, you can sell it, but just be careful because this whole pattern here, right? This whole piece coming down, it's probably gonna go down a little more, but this could start to go up. So you got to be very, very careful here with this one, right? New Zealand Swiss, let's see what this is giving us daily. Also at a very similar structure here, see that? Possible one more up. So you got to be careful with all the New Zealand pairs. They have to confirm the downside now. To confirm that downside, this is a sell. Those of my traders who are in the sell, you'll be careful because we didn't look at these as yet for longer term. If you're in the sell, just move your stops. If they make another flag, you sell, take profit. If they make another flag, you sell, you take profit. Make another flag, you sell, you take profit, because this could start to go back up. I don't see if it's going to be a long-term potential, we will wait for one more of that. Give us one more of that, and then we're going to go down totally. But right now, potentially they can make one more up. CAD. This one we were expecting it to come. I think all of you were following me. You should have sold this at the top there. I think I showed that pattern very clearly in one of the webinars. That sell setup there. And if you sold it, it broke the low. Take your profit. Once it break the low, take your profit because there's a good chance of them reversing now. Very good chance of them reversing. What you're going to wait for to confirm that is you want another flag here, another corrective structure like that, and then you're going to sell again. Because if you don't get it, it's reversal time. They can stop right there and reverse. If they fall an next 50 pips, well, and you're in the trade, you move your stops. You get it. You want to wait, you wait, and then they spike up 50 pips, and all your profit gone. So I would take profit and let them fall 50 pips, and I'll forget about that. Cat Chief, stay out of this. So it's just going sideways. They're probably going to go up back, but they're in a big sideways move right now. Copper, I think more downside. Yes, you probably get more downside. They're consolidating again. So if they consolidate here again, you probably look for one more downside. And you don't have a buy setup here anyway. US oil, be careful with this upside because there's a good chance right now we're making this consolidation. I don't think it's over. We'll have to check that. There's a good chance they'll come one more and then go. We're looking for one more upside, but we're looking for more of a deeper consolidation like this before they go. If this is the turn to depth, I don't think it's a turn to depth. I think it's more of a pullback to go one more down and then go back up, giving you this pattern, right? But if it is going to go up, then you will have to still wait for it to make a flag to confirm the upside and then take the trade, put it to break even when it leaves. There's one more impulse to the upside, but the better impulse would be if they come back here first and then start to go. That would be the best impulse. You can start buying from here going up. Same with the UK oil. If you jump into that trade a little early, just be careful because there is a possibility of them coming back. Well, what happened to this line? Is there a possibility of them coming back? And you've seen that before, right? They spike down, spike up, come back down, right? So they spike up there and then they come back down. They're spiking up here. They can probably come back down and then go. This would be your trade. So wait for that one. It pulls back one more down and then you get the trade. Natural gas, you're looking for some sideways and I think you're looking for downside. So they're making the sideways here now. And you can get a trade to the downside here, retesting these lows. S&P 500 correction. I still think you're in a correction. It just might be a bigger correction, but it's not the fall that we were expecting, not a bigger trade to the downside. We were expecting a bigger trade in the weekly. Let me just show you that. But I don't think that's how it's going to start, right? So we're expecting this thing to come back pretty big here. Maybe even on the daily, you're expecting one more big move to the downside. Yep, you can pull the daily one and you're expecting one more to this trend line. See that? We're expecting this to happen. If that is the case, it's coming really slow. So if you get sell set up, you can take it, right? That to happen before they go back up. And we might get 1, 3, 5, right? So just might get it. Put it in the 4 hour. Let me see if you have anything to sell there. Not that I see it, but if you could even get a buy set up here. If this goes up, if this break here, you can go with a short-term buy, take profit. Right? To the downside, that's just coming down aggressively. Maybe an expanding flat for my traders. See it? Maybe an expanding flat in there. That's an expanding flat. Wait for a flag. You'll have to wait for this to come here, make a flag, and then sell. Short-term trade, take profit because they're going to come back up, go down, come back up, go down, and they can do this for a while. If we start to see that pattern, it's good. You're probably coming back to the trend line, which is quite a way, right? In the daily, it looks like small, but in the 4 hour, it's quite a way back to somewhere in here, right? So wait for the flag, Michael. If you get a flag, yeah, we'll probably go down. I wouldn't confirm, but yes, possible running flat in the middle, or expanding flat in the middle for my traders. DAX coming down, so you get another correction here. I think they can go back up a little. You get a correction, sell it. They'll come back to this trend line daily. And then we'll wait to see if they break it. That's the daily correction. And they can likely break that. Because if they break that trend line, we're coming way back to test these lows. So look for sell setups. 4 hour, 1 hour. Wait for one more up. Wait for this to come here, go one more up, and then come down. That will be your perfect setup. If they give you that, you get a very nice trade to the downside. Nifty for those who trade it. You got a very sharp pullback, so that doesn't mean anything right now. I'd let them come and go back up, and then I'll start to look for short-term sells. If that is going to be a sell setup, right now you probably don't want to buy it. That's about it. Let's go with Bitcoin. Some of these that you guys looked at. Bitcoin is back at the top. Like I said, I think some weeks somebody asked me, say you can buy it here, but when it breaks the top, take your profit. Now it can go a little higher, but take your profit. So here's how you're going to trade this if you want to trade it. If you're buying when it makes these breakout, if you're buying here and if you bought here, when they get to the top, take profit. When they get to the top, take profit. Well, this one is already. But if they go here and come back again and they go and you buy, they come to the top, take profit. Very soon, this is going to get a fall. Very soon, not double top. It may go a little, but very soon it's going to get a fall. That bubble will burst. It's a bubble, and it will burst. And when it bursts, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So the argument some people were making with me and saying, this guy does not understand the technology. Well, let me show you something that is using the very same technology. Absolutely the same technology. This is using the same technology, right? We agreed? So if it is because of the technology it's worth 7,000, why the hell is this 22 cents? Please explain to me. I'm talking to the same foolish guy who was telling me that the price of Bitcoin is because of the new technology. He has very little understanding of the technology. It has nothing to do with blockchain technology. The cost has nothing to do with it. The cost is a bubble. And if you don't understand this, you're in trouble, right? This is the same technology. It's like you're going to buy two TV. They're exactly the same, but one is 22 cents and one is 7,000. Right? You understand that? It's the same thing. It doesn't make a difference, guys. It has nothing to do with that. It's a bubble. And if you really don't get it, you'll finally get it one day when you lose all your money. Right? The same type of technology has been used here. And as a matter of fact, if I understand it correctly, I don't follow this crap. So I'm not sure whether I understand it very clearly. But some of my traders, this one has more support than actually the Bitcoin has. What they can do is they can put the bubble in one, because once that bubble bursts, the rest of them nobody's gonna trust the rest. So they're keeping the bubble in Bitcoin. It's good to do that. Blow it up, keep that going. And here's why people think they make money in Bitcoin. I'll show you why most of you will not make a single cent on Bitcoin, and I'll show you why. I'll take 2 seconds to do that. Let's say you were trading Bitcoin when it was $6. Let me give you the smartest way to show you how you will not make a single cent on Bitcoin. Let's say you bought Bitcoin when it was here, $6. And you kept it until it was about $1,000 here, right? And then you exit. And then you wait and you saw it went back and then it came back. You say, you know what, I'm buying some more here. So all the profit you made, including some of your own money, you add it on here, right? Because you're buying, and it went to 7,000. You're like, hey, I'm in money. I don't care about you now. This guy's talking crap. So you exit there and you took your profit. And then it came back to here and you said, you know what, I'm buying back at 6,000. Guess what you did? All the money you made profit, including some more of your money, you put it at 6,000. Now it's at 7,000. You thought you're in profit. And the same you will do if it pulls back and it goes and it pulls. You will keep investing all the money you make because it's getting more expensive. So you have to put back all the money you make into the market, plus a little more of your extra money. And that is how bubbles work. They encourage you to spend because you made profit. At least you have a vision that you made money. You have a feeling that you made money. You didn't get the money because you didn't put it in your pocket. You reinvested into that. And these type of structures are reinvestment structures. A drop, up again, a drop, up again. Get you to reinvest in it. Because when it bursts, you should have all your investment in there. They need you to have all your investment in there when they burst it. And all the money you thought you made, gone. You'll be wondering what the hell happened, right? You thought you were making money. If you were making money, you have to take it out of the market. If you took out your capital and took out some profit and put it in solid dollar, not in Bitcoin, in solid currency, in some bank, then you made profit. If you have it all in Bitcoin, you haven't made any profit as yet. So just remember that. Let's go. And they do that. That's how bubble worked. There was one live bubble when I was a student in Moscow. It's called MMM. People would make money. They would buy it today, they would sell it 1 week after, and they would buy back immediately, buy back again more because the price dropped a little. And they kept doing that, and they kept putting more and more money because they can see profit, right? So they keep, some people sold their apartment and invested in the MMM because they were seeing the profit. And then when it all burst, they were like, wait a second, no apartment, no money, but some paper in their hands that's written MMM, nothing else. That's all they were left with, papers. And not even quality paper to use when you go, to certain places. The paper isn't good for that either. So be careful. Making profit means you have your profit in the bank, in solid currency, not in not in Bitcoin. Then you can say you made profit. Or if you have it all in Bitcoin, no way. Let's go. So what I'll do is I'll stop the live YouTube video. We don't want to make that too long, and I'll take questions, right? The people on YouTube, if you want to join us live, you know where the link is. The link is always on my Facebook page and on Twitter. So let me bring up my Facebook page for those who are on YouTube. If they want to follow me, they'll always find it. Pro Wave Trader. It's Anil Mangal. I already have my personal one as Anil Mangal, so I had to put this as Pro Wave Trader, and I'm Anil Mangal Pro Wave Trader all over. But just my personal one is an Anil Mangal already, so I had to create a page that is Pro Wave Trader. The link will always be at the top. The link for the daily ones will also always be at the top. Once you come to this page and you look, the very top one pinned here is the link for today. So the link for Monday will be pinned at the top here. That will be the Monday daily 15 minutes one. You can get the link. It's always going to be here. For you to get a message, you have to set it up. You either have to follow the page or like the page or something, and then they give you a notification. I don't know how that works. And you can get it on Twitter also. I put it on Twitter. My Twitter, I think it's Anil Mangal too. So you can go. It's all Anil Mangal. You can find it. Anil Mangal at ProWave, right? So you can find it, and you can go tweets, and you will get it in the very last tweet that I made. You'll get it here, right? You'll get it. It's right here. The link is right here for this one, and all the webinars are out here also. That's all you'll find. Webinars and link. I don't tweet anything else. I don't have the time for that. So it's not like if you follow me, you're going to get a whole lot of waste tweet, right? You will only get a link and the recording of the webinar, nothing else. Not exactly 2 p.m. I don't know when I do them. When I do, it's 2 p.m., 4 p.m., maybe 1 p.m., depending on when I have the available time. So you will have to set it up to get a notification. It will definitely give you a notification at least an hour or two before. I try to put it in the morning after I see how the day looks like for me. Then I'll put it out. So that's for the people on YouTube so they can see it. So you can join us live. You will get the Q&A, which I normally stop because we don't want the videos to be very long. So I'll stop the